So I got to do my first AMC Screen Unseen, which is basically where you go pay $6 a ticket and you go in at like a late night time and get to see a mystery horror movie. I've been wanting to do one of these for a while. I don't know why I always put it off thinking it was gonna be more money. And I've also wanted to try going to do the secret movie series that Cinemark does as well, which I think is more than just horror movies. But I cannot begin to explain to you how bright my face lit up as soon as I saw my mystery movie was Companion. Companion is our first comedy horror Valentine's Day movie of 2025. It is directed by Drew Hancock and stars Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. When this movie was starting to be produced and filmed and stuff, a lot of people were saying that it was basically just a horror sex bot version of Megan. While I have seen maybe 2 people actually review it as that, it's definitely not that. Companion actually releases to everybody on January 31st, which is my birthday. And before I even say anything about this movie, I'm asking you to please just go watch it. I absolutely loved sitting down in the theater just by myself with my little notebook writing down things about this. The acting is just absolutely wonderful from everybody who participated in this. Jack Quaid definitely gets his acting skills from his dad because he's just great at being an asshole. Sophie Thatcher, who also I saw her in Heretic, is just a great actress in this role. I actually like her in this role a lot more than I did in Heretic. This is a comedy horror that leans very much into the comedy side of things. Most of the jokes are actually pretty funny, helped by the actors who are performing them. We have Harvey Julian and Lucas Cage, who are just both great at comedy roles. Harvey being in What We Do in the Shadows before it got ended. Lucas Cage being in Down Low, which I've really heard is a great movie and I want to watch it so bad. And who we actually just saw in Smile 2. Another great horror movie in my opinion. This movie definitely isn't perfect, but it is a very entertaining watch. Most of the time I actually wasn't writing anything because I just couldn't look away from the screen. I was just so entertained. As far as some of the things that I didn't like without getting into spoiler territory, I wish that they wouldn't have given us some information that they did as early as they did, because then in some moments it kind of feels like, okay, I already know this, there's not really a need to explain this. But also at the same time, I kind of understand why they're explaining it, because unless you didn't watch the trailer, you won't know that she's a robot. But the whole point of putting out a trailer for a movie is for people to watch the trailer and see if they're interested. And at some moments they tend to repeat some stuff, which isn't bad necessarily, it's just another moment kind of okay, let's get on with it. I get that it's funny for joke purposes to let it play out, but also we've already seen this, come on. And as I was scrolling through some of the other reviews, I saw some people saying that this had been played out before. I know I'm very new to movies and I haven't seen a lot of them before I started doing this, but I personally haven't seen any other story or movie do this plot. And then of course there were just your fair share of stupid ass reviews being oh, the men should have won. Which is not a spoiler, because also in the trailer she explains,
There have been 2 moments in my life when I was happiest. The first was the day I met Josh, and the second, the day I killed him.
all in all, I don't think that this is going to be one with the critics, if you know what I mean. But if you just want something to do specifically for Valentine's Day, this, like Jack Quaid said, it makes a perfect date night movie. Or if you just want to go by yourself like I did, it's still super entertaining. Actually, whenever I watched the trailer previously, I don't know if it was just me, but I got a completely different storyline from the trailer than what is actually in the movie. Let's start before the trailer. Whenever I would be sitting in theaters trying to watch a different movie and there would come up that 10-second clip of the thing where she's sitting at the dinner table with Jack Quaid, I thought, okay, that's gonna be a movie that has Jack Quaid as some serial killer kidnapping some girl. And then whenever the trailer came out, I said, okay, so she's a sex bot that got jailbreaked, I guess, and now she's going on some killing spree. And I was like, okay, I can dig it. But even still, going into the movie is a completely different plot. And I can see how that could be an issue for some people, but I love that. I love that because if you're putting something over here for me to look at and then trying to throw something over here for me to look at, I'm not gonna expect what is coming to me. Do I think that maybe one of the other plots that they could have chosen would have been better? Yes and no. Because I do really like the plot that they have in movie, but also I think it would have been kind of interesting to see a like serial killer type dude like jailbreaking his sex bot and like just keeping her hostage. Serial killer sex bot thing, or I guess serial killer robot thing, we've already seen with Megan. After the movie is released, I will go into spoiler territory about the movie and talk about what I liked and what I didn't like, some notes that I took while watching it. But I don't want to do that just yet since it is like a couple days before it actually does come out. Not a lot of people are actually going and seeing it early, you know? Sounding like a broken record here, but it's not a perfect movie, but it is a damn good watch. The underlining theme could have been presented better. It feels like it was kind of just like not necessarily left for the end of the movie, but it could have been spread out a bit more, so I didn't kind of feel like, oh, I guess that's what the theme is. It does make the ending feel satisfying, but it's also not a great ending. I wish that it would have ended differently, or I guess better. A lot of other people said that the ending didn't feel as satisfying since we already kind of knew what was going to happen from the trailer, which usually I would complain about, knowing like what's going to happen at the end, but I feel like for this movie it makes sense. The acting is great, like previously stated. The makeup and effects are wonderful. And this is definitely going on my watch every year for Valentine's Day list. That's right, bitches, I'm making a list. I can thank my handy dandy little Overwatch notebook that I got for $5.99 at Ollie's because it was on sale because nobody ever plays the fucking game anymore. Which, side note, I'm actually trying to work on bringing a notebook to theaters so that I'm having my phone out less instead of the entire movie taking notes on my phone and then me missing something crucial going on screen. Has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I just thought it was interesting. Like I said, I'm gonna wait and do a separate video whenever the movie does come out so I can cover all the spoilers and what I think about the actual plot. But in the meantime, if you want, you can check out my Letterboxd where I do review other movies that I don't post videos about. You can also check out my previous video, which was on Nosferatu. Is it a masterpiece or is it boring? My other socials will be down in the description, and I also encourage you to subscribe and like this video. I am currently working on the WWE draft that I promised about 3 months ago, and also working on a new video game review for you. Let me know what other movie or game you want me to cover in the future. This has been Scythe Reviews. My name is Scythe, and thank you so much for watching.